Okay, so on to chapter 49 and more author's notes that seems to
49.
be even
Wait, wait, wait.
longer.
49?
41. Chapter 41! And to everyone who keeps flaming this Gitzliff! I bet you probably all know who Gerard Way is! You probably all preps and pausers! 11,111. Anyway, someone hacked into my account in November and they put up my last chapter, but now there is a new one. Really, this voice is just killing me. Like, I seriously kind of regret going with that voice for Tara in the first place. I'm sorry for not updating for a while, but I've been really busy. I'm trying to finish the story before the new movie comes out. I'm going on vacation. I'm going on vacation for a month, so I won't be back until about 2 weeks.
Brilliant understanding of the human time system, Tara.
Yes. Honestly, reading that, I didn't think of that. I was too busy just trying to get through the sentence. Yes.
She's going on vacation for a month, so don't expect her back for about 2 weeks.
Yeah. OMFG Draco is so hot in all the pics for the new movie! 111, I wanted them to put a cameo by Gerard Way. Lol, he has to play Draco. Why? Why would you want Gerard Way to play a 17-year-old? I'm pretty sure he does not look like a 17-year-old or 16, but whatever.
Because he's Gerard Way.
Well, still. That would also require recasting the character, and everyone knows that nobody likes recasting the characters. So yeah. If you flame, you'll slit my wrists. 11 Raven, you rock girl, have fun in England. Oh, that author's note was way too long. 660. Why am I suddenly having trouble saying 666? 666. When I woke up, I was in a strange room. I looked around. I was wearing the same outfit I had when I looked around. I was wearing the same outfit I had when it performed with Black Stirks. I looked around confusedly. It was the Norse's office, but it looked different.
Yeah, it doesn't have wings anymore.
On the wall was a pic of Marlene Munson. I'm not sure I like how I said that.
Marlene.
Huh?
Marlene.
Marlene Munson. On the wall was a pic of Marlene Munson. 1111. Am I hearing a phone ringing?
Yeah, sorry about that.
So, just imagine that he is an 80s gothic man too, because there is more old than Panic. I said that completely wrong, but just imagine that he is an 80s gothic man, because he is more old than Panic. At the Discord. Author's notes, spelling, arg. There was also a gothic black Beatles calendar with a picture of the Beatles wearing a alien run black. The Beatles. Seriously? There was also a Gothic Blake Beatles calendar with a picture of the Beatles wearing the alien around Blake clothes on
Well,
it.
we can assume in this universe that that they might have wizard Photoshop or something.
Well, it's magic, why not? On it said 1980. OMFG, I'm back in Tim again, 111. I screamed loudly. Suddenly Satan, this is actually Voldemort for a photo reference! Photo reference? What? And suddenly Satan. That's the entire sentence.
Well, that's an acceptable sentence on the internet.
Well, yeah, I suppose. Voldemort was wearing a Blake leather jacket, Blake tight jeans and fishnet pants. He looked, he looked so sexy, I almost had an orgy. 11.
No, really. Really now, Tara.
Really? OMFG, NOB, are you okay? He asked gothically. Yeah, I'm okay for your information. I snapped sexily. OMG, am I dead? Cause I remembered I had jumped in front of the bullet from James. Cause I remembered I had jumped in front of the bullet from James' gun. I also remembered seeing Draco doing it with Snap. 111. I guessed that when I had slit my wrists, I had went back in Tim instead of dying. That does not make any sense at all.
Well, who says it has to make sense?
Well,
This is my Immortal. Making sense is like against the rules.
good point. I know I could go forward. I know I could go forward in time if I found the time toner or the Tim machine.
From Morty McFly.
Yes. No, we're not dead, Satan reassured us.
But that word isn't supposed to be funny, but he uses it so out of context.
Yes. Satan reassured suicidally as he smoked a cigarette sexily and smoke came all over his face. We're a vampire, so you can't die from a bullet. Come on now, let's go see how Harry's dad is doing.
Harry.
Who
As
is
in-
probably meant to be Harry. How does he know that James is Harry's dad?
I'm just amused that they spelled it like the condition of having lots of hair.
Yeah. I knew that the real reason I didn't die from the blaze was because I was from the future.
That doesn't mean anything. If it did, it would mean that the Doctor never had to regenerate, because nothing could kill him. But last time I checked, he can be killed from radiation exposure, he can be killed from medical malpractice, he could be killed by bat guano!
By what?
Bat guano.
I'm not sure which you were referring to there, but...
It was... I'm trying to remember which Doctor it was. Fifth? Possibly.
Oh, that's probably the only one I don't really know exactly how dies.
Yeah, because I know 6 to 7, he hit his head on the TARDIS console.
Because the actor refused to come back to film the regeneration sequence.
Yes, and then 7 to 8 was medical malpractice. 4 to 5 was a very long fall, which explains why 5 didn't like heights. 3 to 4, I can't remember what happened.
I think it was radiation poisoning there too.
Really? Okay. 2 to 3, Time Lord Council being all like, blah, 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 we're boring Time Lords. Then
Die.
1 to 2 was death by exposure. So yeah, I guess it was 5 to 6 that he stepped in toxic bat guano. and died.
Well, anyway, back to crappy fanfiction. WTF, James almost shot Lucius. I said, Indigo Alley? What the hell is that supposed to mean? I said Indigo Alley.
Indigo-ally! Like the color between blue and purple.
Well, I imagined in that thing what it meant, but what the hell does that mean? How can you say something in a color?
She's screaming so loud and hard that she's gone indigo in the face.
Ah, well.
Just like you go sometimes when you have to read numbers above 1 quintillion.
Yes, I suppose. I knew that James had really been possessed. Oh, really? So now it was James who was possessed. Fair enough. I knew that James had really been possessed. Oh, been possessed. I knew that James had really been possessed, but I didn't want him to know I knew.
Well, that would actually make more sense. He was possessed by Snap, and Snap then shot at Lucius. Or Luscious. His luscious locks. He's got luscious blonde hair.
Yeah, I know, but he had a headache. He was under a lot of stress. Satan reasoned evilly. That did not sound very evil to me. So, I guess that's awk. I said because James hadn't really shot Lucian. Also, I knew that Lucian would now have 2 arms instead of 1.
You already
He
noticed
always
that.
had 2 arms.
And you've already seen him with 2 arms. You don't know that he will. You've already seen it.
I walked seductively outside with Satan. Oh wait, I pronounced a word that was spelled correctly wrong again. Must stop doing that. I walked seductively outside with Satan. Suddenly, I saw a totally sexy gothic bi guy.
Oh no.
Ah, yes. This part.
This part.
11, he had black blonde hair with black streaks up. 11, he had black blonde hair with black streaks up to his ears, and he was wearing gothic black eyeliner, a black.
You keep, sorry, I hate to interrupt, but you kept saying black. It's Blake.
Ah, yes. That is like the one word that I keep messing up. Of course, I suppose it's a good thing that I'm sometimes pronouncing misspelled words correctly rather than pronouncing correctly spelled words
Correctly
wrong.
word spelled, I had.
Formulate a coherent sentence, I cannot.
For Yoda, I am.
Suddenly an idea I had. So, he had black blonde hair with black streaks up to his ears, and he was wearing gothic black eyeliner. He had black blonde hair with black streaks up to his ear, and he was wearing gothic black eyeliner, a black Green Day t-shirt. It showed Billy Joel with blonde hair since it was the 80s! Black Congress shoes and black baggy pants. Oh my god, she said it correctly. I am impressed.
I'm scared to feel impressed about such a thing because that shows that we think she actually accomplished something.
A very good point. He walked in all sexily like Jared Way in the video. He walked in all sexily like Jared Way in the video for I don't 3.
I don't 3 uliek I did yesterday.
He walked in all sexily like Jared Way in the video for I don't 3 you look I did yesterday, and you could see a black tear on his face. And you could see a black tear on his face. Look down in that video. So, did you voice Hedwig the Owl? I sort of seem to remember you did, but I'm not entirely sure.
You go ahead and voice him just in case, but I'm pretty sure I voiced him.
Hey! He said all quietly and gothically. Who the fuck is that? I asked angrily because I asked angrily because I did not know him. This is Hedwig! 11, said Volximort. He used to be in Black Stirks, but he had to drop out because he broke his arm. How? How does that mean that he has to drop out of the band? I mean, I suppose he could.
He was the drummer, but he broke his arm.
Well, yeah, I suppose, but.
He wasn't gothic enough anymore.
Oh. So he couldn't just get back into the band after his arm got healed. So, hey Hedwig, I said seductively, even though I was trying to. I said seductively, even though I was not trying to. Lol, hi, Ebony! Lol, hi, lol, hi, Enobi! He answered, but then he ran away because he. He answered, but then he ran away because he. He answered, but then he ran. He answered, but then he ran away because he had hair of magic. Because he had hair of magical creature. Well, at least it's not hair of magic creatures.
He is an intelligent owl that has swapped gender spontaneously.
And has hair instead of feathers, I suppose. He was humming welcome to the Black Parade. He was humming welcome to the Blake Parade under his breath. I know that is not 80s, but pretend it is, okay? Sorry, what were you saying?
I was just saying, oh, the Blake Parade.
Well, no, the Blake Parade.
The Blake Parade.
Oh. But wasn't that what I said just earlier there?
I'm just saying, oh look, it's Blake again.
Yep. Oh, bye. I said all sexily. That was Hedwig! Yes, we've already established that. He used to be my boyfriend! He used to be my boyfriend, but we broke up! Satan said sadly, looking at his Blake nails.
Again, because Hedwig wasn't gothic enough anymore.
Yes.
Because when you break your arm, some of your gothicness goes into the healing process. So some goths never quite recover.
Yeah. OMFG, I can get you back together. I said fingering something I didn't know was. I said fingering something I didn't know was in my pocket. A Blake Cute is what we aim for, Studio iPod that I could take videos with. What?
It's a Cydio iPod. Duh.
Does no one else know about them? They kike us!
I know about Cydio iPods, considering how most iPods nowadays can take Cydios.
Well,
At
could
the
they
time.
back when this story was written, though?
That might actually be an interesting thing, if that was really high tech back then. Back then, oh my gosh, I'm talking like I'm old.
But back in my days, we didn't have stuff like CDO iPods.
You young people and your Tumblrs and your Cydio iPods and your laptops. And
well, I have a laptop, but...
And your 4G and your phone apps and your iTunes and your Microsoft. I gotta stop now.
Good. So back to the story. I was really thinking you probably should stop soon because I had to read more. You know, I led them to the Great Hall. Oh my God! She also spelled great correctly rather than you know her normal way of spelling it, like you know the protective railing in front of a fireplace or whatever. So. Lucian, James, Sirius, and Snake were all in the Great Hall, and misspelled again. Ah. Lucian wouldn't talk with James because he had tried to shoot him. Well, that is a pretty reasonable reason to give someone silent treatment. Go fuke yourself, you fucking douche! Oh, that was nothing like Lucian. Go fuke yourself, you fucking douche! He shouted at him. Draco, Draco is never going to be friends with Vampire now. One. How? How does he know that he is going to have a son named Draco? How does he know that James is going to have a son named Harry who is going to go by the nickname of Vampire? How?
Wait, when you think about it, Voldemort knew about how Hot Issue would have its name changed to Hot Topic, and how Hogsmeade would have its name changed to Hogsmeade.
After this story takes place.
Yes. Well, never mind the fact that the story is taking place in England. When technically, doesn't Hogwarts reside somewhere in Scotland?
Yes. But yeah, let's just assume that everyone is just really good at divination. Oh my god, I almost said deviation. This fanfic's horrible spelling is still messing with my brain. Yeah, go fuck yourself tomorrow. Oh, no.
That was Snape.
Yeah. Yeah, go fuck yourself tomorrow. Snape agreed, but I knew he was lying because it had been his fault James had almost shot Lucian. Be quiet, you guys. I said sexily. My plan was working out great. Really? Now I could make Voldemort good without doing it with him. Now I could make Voldemort good without doing it with him. Now
Yay!
Vampire's dad would never die, and according to that previous paragraph, he is already not dead.
Hey, wait a second. She said that now she wouldn't. Didn't they at the movies? Though?
Yeah, I think they did.
She would never have to, 'cause she already did. Massive contradiction.
And then she tells Satan and Hedwig to start making out. I said, and I started to film them with the iPod. Cool, said Sirius as Voldemort and Hedwig started to make out sexily.
Yes.
Oh my god, that sentence was almost spelled correctly. I mean, except for the number 2.
And Sirius's name.
Yes. But let's just assume that his name actually is Sirius in this story.
Oh, that's true. Alternate universe.
Yeah, I mean, after all, Pettigrew is 16 in this story. And Dumbledore is still alive in Harry's 7th year. So, we watched us today started to take each other's clothes off sexily. I mean, we watched us today started to take all... suddenly can't read it properly. Yeah. We watched us today started to take each other's clothes off sexily.
See, for some reason, all I can think of when the sentence involves clothes is the just making like decorations out of oranges with cloves stuck in the orange skin. I'm not sure where that came from. I just know it's a thing people do. And I don't know.
But anyway, tomorrow Sirius, Snake, and Lucian all watched because they were probably by. I knew Snape was by. Oh my fucking god! Voldemort! Voldemort!
But that's not his name right now!
I know! Screamed Hedwig as his Screamed Hedwig as his Glock touched Voldemort's. But
Everyone in the story has guns.
But suddenly everything stopped as the door opened and in came Dumbledore and Mr. Norris! And another extremely long number.
100. thousand.
111 million, I think.
Billion. 111 billion.
111 billion, 111 million, 111,111. And looking at this stuff here, I see that actually the recordings that you've given me so far are actually up to just chapter 41, so chapter 42 actually hasn't been recorded yet.
Yeah. I need to go now, though, actually.
Yeah, I was about to ask, like, should we do it now or should we do it later? So I suppose, yeah.
Later will do.
Fair enough.